Hello, welcome
Hello.
back to takeONE podcast. I'm your host, Ramzi, joined by,
Andrew Phantom.
also known as...
Fan membership?
Hello, everybody, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. I hope you're doing well. Good evening, good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever time of day, whatever universe and dimension you are in. Hello.
Dimension.
Yeah, we're getting deep.
Aliens, they exist.
We're on episode 3 of takeONE. It's been a heck of a year, man.
Yeah, it's been a lot of things happen within that year. Some
Yeah.
cool things that we learn, things that we improve on.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's definitely a ride.
Yeah, for sure. And before we dive into this episode and kind of the theme of the episode to go along with how crazy this year is being a successful content creator in the midst of a global pandemic, because that sentence is not something I ever thought I would say, but I'm grateful to say it because I've learned a lot. But before we dive in, I want to say a special thank you to all of the people who have personally reached out and given us feedback and basically let us know that you've watched it. We received a message from 905
MVS,
Yes.
also known as Malhia.
Yes, Malia. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Thank you for your feedback. Honestly, I got goosebumps when I read your message. It made me very warm in my heart. And your work is awesome. Yeah. I've seen your work. It's freaking awesome. I'm gonna drop your name somewhere here because I want other people to see it.
I didn't even expect like a long message either, but that message was very deep in detail, which we really do appreciate, and it goes to show that like our content hopefully means something to you guys.
Yeah.
Whether it's something that you learn from, or whether it's advice or personal experience that we have that you can take from. So we really do appreciate that.
Yeah.
On the topic of that as well, we like reviews.
Yeah. If you're enjoying this, or if there's something you're not enjoying, or if there's something you'd like us to speak about, please drop us a review on one of the various platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are listening to this. Just drop us a review and a rating. Goes a long way. Lets us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong.
Even on YouTube, like whether it's YouTube or Instagram, wherever you follow us or listen to us on, drop us a message as well, whether it's a comment, if you have a specific question, or you even have like a recommendation that you want us to do.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool too, because we want to continue to grow. We want to continue to be unique, and we want to have new things and make stuff that you guys can enjoy. So
exactly. And the community that's kind of being developed, although still kind of small, it's an amazing community because we can all benefit from one another. I love being exposed to all these new people through this podcast, because I'm now connecting with new creatives on the internet, and I'm just like, wow, like there's some really talented people out there, and they really need to be seen. So I think that's something we could do maybe in the future, just kind of like showcase some creators and what they do, like showcase your work. So if you want us to showcase your work, like please feel free to send it our way. But yeah, takeONE. It's takeONE exists because of a global pandemic. Yeah. It is one of the things that has came from this global pandemic, right?
So we would have never had the time if it wasn't for the global pandemic to film this podcast. But now, like that, I'm thinking of it. How do we even start?
We were literally in a parking garage.
Yeah, yes.
We were
yes,
sitting in a parking garage, and we're like, because me and Andrew were like, we wouldn't see each other too often. We're both busy in our own lives, but when we see each other, we would just like talk, and then like, yo, man, let's just record it. So,
do something.
But I mean, typically, right? Like, if it weren't for, lockdown and pandemic and restrictions on how many people and who you can see and all that stuff,
or
like
Tony fixing my car, just giving me winter tires,
just installing your tires. But yes, like normally everyone's always, they're going out, they have plans, they have dinners, they have parties to go to, but now everyone's chilling, right? That presents many opportunities for personal growth, things you've put off for a long time. Things like this, we started a podcast. You can start your own podcast too. If you need help, shoot us a message. Be happy to help you set that up. But yeah, that is one of the things. But that's one amongst many other things. So we wanted to talk this episode this week about creating content successfully in
As
a global
content
pandemic.
creator, yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily successfully, but just
Yeah.
just being an effective content creator. Before we dive into the small details, just overview. How do you feel about creating content in this climate?
To be honest, when the pandemic started, I don't even think I did a lot of video stuff. To be honest, I was kind of lazy.
Me too, man.
But when the pandemic hit, and I guess a little bit of a kind of like a wake up call, I found it actually giving you more time to actually go out and do different things, right?
Yeah.
I think the initial start of the pandemic, you would be kind of concerned. You didn't know much about what was happening. Things are shut down. Everyone's wearing a mask. Everyone's freaking out. You're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I got a camera now. I can't even use it. However, as time passed on, I felt that it's really not that different. It's like, yes, you're wearing a mask. Yes, you're socially distancing. But at the same time, I feel it's very similar, if not really getting to know yourself so that you can go out and find out what you love or like, and being able to take advantage of that during the downtime that you have.
Yeah.
And learning yourself and learning the art of whatever you desire you do. So
Yeah, man. No, honestly, very, very well said. That is kind of what happened to me. Like when it was a very big shock at first, right? Like the whole world was flipped upside down. Everything I knew to be normal was no more. So the initial adjustment was difficult, but once the dust settled, and I kind of came to terms with the reality that we were living in, the opportunities that I saw unfold in front of me were unbelievable, because what this has done is accelerate that kind of push towards a digital world. And now you have not just the younger generations, you have the older generations who have forcefully had to learn how to use technology. So now audience sizes have immensely grown. Everyone's using digital means of communication, right? Because it is the only way. And as much as I don't love that, I had to learn to accept it, because I love people. I love communicating and connecting with people, and digitally is the only way. So with that kind of huge rise in digital communication and digital presence came a lot of opportunities, right? Because now you have all these local businesses. They realize the importance of their website and their social media page, and how is their digital presence. Their real physical presence is okay, but now how are you gonna stay in touch with your contacts? How are you gonna be personal on the internet amongst so many other people? So
if you've never utilized like social media, there's a lot of like factors to it too, right? Like those local businesses that are investing in social media right now, like, there's a lot of very specific things that you think about, right? Like it's not just about taking a photo or not just taking a video. It's more of how do you speak to the people consuming it, right? Because right when the pandemic hit, everyone's on social media. That's all that you can really do, right? You have your phone.
Exactly.
You're watching TV. Everything's on there. If you don't want to hear about COVID-19, you're there on your phone, just browsing through Instagram, TikTok, and all these different platforms. But the true value, like I think the big thing for like this year was essentially helping these small businesses, but also having them see the benefit of the stuff that we make.
Yeah, exactly.
And the reason why is because before you weren't kind of forced into that way, because social media, like, yes, it was big, but again, to your point, they didn't really want to invest into it because they weren't stuck in a position to say, oh, we're not making much money because we don't have that presence because it's open. But now because everything's closed, people have to come, right? Or go to that place for a specific service. So how do you speak to the people that are there, and how can you boost your sales? But it really opened the door for that. So hopefully when, everything's back to normal, we can see, a bigger spike in social media and all that.
But I hate to say it, but man, I don't think we're going back to normal. I think we're
masks forever.
Currently our new normal is in progress, right? Like, and it sucks, but it's completely out of my control, out of your control. I encourage you to not be mad about things that you can't control. See the best in things. 2020 has been difficult, and my deepest condolences go to anyone who has been directly impacted by, these awful things that have been happening in the world. The world is how you perceive it, right? It's all about perception. if you choose to perceive it in a positive light, you will attract more positivity. So that goes to say with just about anything, especially in a creative type of work where positivity is vital, because you can't be creating when you have negative things going on in your space. So I encourage you. I know the world is weird right now, but see the opportunities and take full advantage of the opportunities. You know, like we just spoke about how people now realize more than ever the value in digital presence. Use that to your advantage. Know your worth and go for it. Don't hesitate.
On that same note, you said you were talking about like positivity, get that negative energy out type of thing too. Like I think the biggest take from 2020, at least in my opinion as well, was collaboration.
Indeed.
I think this year collaboration is key because a couple things. A lot of people are bored because you're on social media. Even like for us, like as content creators, it was super important for us to reach out to different people too, right?
Yeah.
Because that helped enable our type of creativity, help us kind of think outside the box on where we're going to go and shoot. So 2020 collaboration, that's what I picked up.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the key things that made me successful, but also got me out of my like ass to go outside and shoot. So
yeah, and that's another thing. It's the exploring your own backyard. You know, Ottawa is where we live. You may not live in Ottawa. However, the whole shutdown, way less traffic on the road, businesses closed. That presented a very unique opportunity, right? So we were able to explore the city like never before. I remember longboarding through downtown, and it was just like ghost town. Yeah. It was unbelievable. It was surreal, and I just filmed a bunch of stuff. I never did anything with that footage, but I just filmed stuff for the memories, right? And like also another thing to add, like I film and photograph cars, so typically coordinating that kind of production and shoot is difficult, right?
Yeah. And you got to be worried about like a lot of the safety things. I've seen Ramzi; he's been out that car. Yeah, he's been going down. It's
sorry,
it's
Mom.
Crazy. But yeah, no.
So I remember early on, a friend of mine picked up the new Corvette, like the 2020 Corvette, and we went downtown, and for the first time ever this year, I was able to shoot shoot cars in motion downtown because it was empty. And that was just like, I was just like, whoa, it's crazy because it's different when you have a rolling or a car in motion, and it's surrounded by buildings, because it looks really cool. I'll throw the photo somewhere over here, but that is one thing I loved, and it forced me to go outside and watch sunset. I watched so many sunsets this summer. I found all the most amazing sunset spots in the city. There's many. Ottawa's a great place.
We went on one too.
We went on one.
It was a cute little
it was a cute little date.
Thank you, Wade, for coming through as well.
Yeah. And you introduced me to several other creatives, which I'm grateful for, because with every experience like that comes a new opportunity to learn. Yeah. If you're not learning, you're not growing.
There's always some sort of value to that too, right? Because different people bring different things, whether, someone wants to learn videography or someone's already learned videography and they want to master specific skill sets, right? So it's definitely been key. And that sunset day was pretty sweet. Yeah. Like our view of that day was downtown, enjoyed the empty city, went up and shot a little bit, grabbed a couple photos for the ground. We can slap some here if we can have that there. And then
it's actually still my Insta photo.
Yeah. And then we did like a couple of videos, and I'll tell you now.
I also took a really cool photo of the Ottawa city skyline. I'm going to leave it at that. That photo may or may not have been even questionably legal.
Even that's why I was very specific when I said we went up to buildings. But
it's an amazing photo. I'm gonna put it. It's gonna span the entire top
I think I remember that one. Yeah.
Of the frame.
But even your sunset video was crazy, because like what happened was I brought my Mavic Mini and I was like, okay, let's use this. And I'm like, SD card not working. I'm like, oh my. I was like, that was crazy. But I had Ramzi do a video, and I know he knows how to use drones a lot.
I'm gonna talk about drones one day.
He took the best video, and we're gonna have that last part somewhere here that you can
see. That
see.
Shot of the sunset. The sky was literally on fire, and it was November, and it was 20 degrees in November, which was the weirdest thing. We were outside in t-shirts. Andrew's wearing.
I thought it was a couple months ago, but it was November.
That was a month and a half. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So that was just an unbelievable blessing, or global warming, one or the other, to be honest.
I would say, like, on that note, because I was gonna say, because of all the downtime,
Mm-hmm.
you think about all the stuff that you want to buy, and you end up pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Drones,
Drones.
Mavic 2.
Yeah,
Mavic Air 2, right?
I picked that. But then again, it's kind of difficult because you still, some people may have not been fortunate enough to maintain employment throughout this. But if you are a creator and you're interested in creating, just know that there is much value in that type of work. So
Yeah.
pick up that camera, go
Yeah.
on Kijiji, buy a used camera
Or lens.
and lens. A good piece of advice is spend 1/3 of your budget on the body and 2/3 of your budget on the lens, and because the lenses are more important in my opinion.
Yeah. They make up like the whole story.
Yeah, they make or break the image. They give it that feel, right? So just pick it up, do it. So yeah, Andrew, like kind of given all the changes that we've gone through, and this kind of push to the digital world and this modern world that we're living in, have you adapted? Like, how have you adapted to kind of stay at the top of your game?
Couple things. So throughout the pandemic, people are creating new businesses. They are investing in their hobbies and all that. So I found that during the pandemic, there was actually kind of like, a little bit more work than usual. Because as to what we were speaking earlier, there are people that are investing highly in social media because they see the true value, right? You're on it every single day, especially with everyone utilizing, different platforms in a time where you're stuck at home. That was going to be key. So what was really successful for me was to, keep that mindset, just to keep on working. Not to tire yourself out, but reach out to different businesses. And again, on that same collaboration piece, messaging people saying, hey, do you have a recommendation for business? Or while doing specific projects with people, they'll be like, hey, I actually have someone that wants you to come shoot for their place. And that really helped me at least spark up a little bit more energy and creativity throughout the pandemic. But it's been a lot to learn. So
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Same thing. Like, it kind of forced me to think outside the box and get creative because I was very limited, right? Like, I was limited as to what I could do and where I could go. So within that, I had to create, and I got some really cool creative inspiration from just going out and exploring and being in nature and watching all these sunsets and just like observing the world and interacting with people as much as possible and safely, of course. But one thing is the communication, right? Like, don't be scared to pick up that phone and speak to someone. Don't, instead of
Hello?
shooting them, I know you could just shoot them a message, but pick up the phone and call them.
Yeah.
Another thing, meetings are happening on the internet, right?
Yep.
One
Zoom.
thing, Zoom, Discord, whatever,
Anything.
Google,
WhatsApp,
whatever,
FaceTime.
whatever you use to do your meetings. If you have a DSLR camera sitting at your house doing nothing, use it as a webcam. I had a meeting a couple weeks ago. I don't do too many virtual meetings, but I had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and I used the Sony, which is the camera that's on my head. I downloaded a driver off the internet. I plugged that in via micro USB, and I had a Zoom meeting using my Sony as a webcam, and I used this microphone to speak. And it was like, it's completely overkill, but
Highest quality.
right, in a world that's so digital, like, why not overproduce the shit out of your freaking video call? Like, why not?
And who knows? Like, especially if the pandemic, like, let's say it stays like this, and everyone's like, "Hey, we don't gotta go to in the building anymore." Imagine like down the road how like good webcams are gonna be, and how you're gonna want to invest into it, because now people want to reach out around the world for you to work there, because you don't have to actually be in the office.
Yeah.
We may be a step ahead of the game.
Exactly. Yeah. So some DSLR cameras, if they're new enough, they'll have kind of like a driver you can download. So Sony very awesomely has drivers you can download off the website. It makes your computer recognize the camera as a webcam. You just have to do a little setting on it. Other cameras, there's a little thing called an Elgato Cam Link, which converts HDMI to USB. You just need a clean HDMI out, which means your camera needs to be able to output what it's seeing without any things showing. So you should be able to hit the display button a bunch of times and things should go away. But that Cam Link thing is like $100. But if you want to just kind of elevate your digital presence, and people who you meet with online will be like, whoa, like, why does this guy look so good? Why does he sound so good? Or this girl or this person, whatever. Why do they sound so good? And it's because you put in that little bit of extra effort, and that's how you got to stand out.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's digital, everyone's online, but you know, make the effort to go that one step ahead. When you think you've done it, just make that extra little push. And I remember you kind of gave me that mindset when you used to back in the day when we used to go to the gym, when gyms were legal and not, you know, a life-threatening experience. You used to say like one more rep, you know, like it's that last push that's gonna make you better. So it goes to say with everything, right? Like
it's funny because I was working out with Tony the other day.
Yeah.
And we actually went very, very ham. Like it was literally like you're like, okay, do 2 more reps. Okay, we did 5 reps. I'm like, okay, you did 5 reps, now go for 10, right? But it's just that small mentality. It's like you know in your head when you're like just 5 more minutes. No, just say screw it, drop it, wake up right away.
Yeah.
And that mentality that you change every single day is gonna add up to the bigger picture as well.
Yeah.
So like even small things like working out, doing a push up. If you aim for 5 today, do 10.
Yeah.
If you did 10 and it was easy, go for 15. Keep on going. It's just like at the end of the day, how I think of it is those small things that you say no, I don't want to do it. It's gonna come get you, and you're gonna find out like later on when you start doing a bunch of videos, you're gonna be like, no, I'll give it 5 more days, 5 more minutes. You know? Then you slack off and all that. So
yeah, exactly.
Keep a strong mindset, especially like during the pandemic. A lot of us are home.
A lot of us are home,
laying in bed,
and we're fortunate enough to be using this wonderful space. Thank you, Apex V2R, the only driving simulation center in the Ottawa area and surrounding areas. Check them out if you need any equipment. Thank you.
Nicest place too.
Thank you for letting us use the space. So just going that extra mile to stand out and be memorable, right?
Yeah. For those as well, like that do streaming, you can utilize. This is an extra tip of the day, by the way, by takeONE Pod. You can use that Elgato cam and the microphone to be like, this is where you were, and this is where you'll be now. Yeah. Professional camera with a nice bokeh, and then you got a professional microphone, and you sound crisp. And not only you got to be funny too, but whatever. When you're on camera, it's gonna look super nice.
Yeah, and I find
it's amazing.
It was the lens that I find, because the quality is gonna be a little bit impacted by the service's ability to take in that full 4K. But besides that, it was the lens. It makes you look like a human being, not just like a two-dimensional thing with a mouth and eyes on it. So go the extra mile. Overproduce your meetings.
Links will be down below.
And let me know if anyone noticed, and if you know, and if you need a hand, holla.
Maybe we can do a side quick tip of the day.
Yeah, side quick tip of the day.
Like that.
We have many plans for how we want this podcast to progress. We're gonna be speaking about audio. We're gonna be speaking about photo, lighting, video, drones. Just we want to go through all of that, but each of those deserves its own episode almost because of how involved it is. And I really want to show you how, and if you're listening, I'm gonna explain it. Explain how to do little things that are just gonna elevate your production by a significant amount. It's just a small thing that we've learned from experience, or we've learned from watching a tutorial or whatever it is. But
and those small details do count, right? Like the small things like 1, 2, and then 3 cameras, or even just like we have like the big, you can't see it, but the big light, and then you have the small light as well. But those small things that you make and add to and try to, I don't know what I'm going here with here, but essentially those little things that you do every time is going to add to the bigger picture. And those small details people will pick up on, and they'll say, hey, listen, I want you for this gig because I know that you like to focus on small things like the sound effects or anything like that. Right?
Sound.
So
but that's basically in a nutshell. Before we move on to some questions, creating content, being a creator in the midst of a pandemic, it's just number one thing. Take care of yourself. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling that lack of motivation, do something that's gonna lift you up. Go for a walk. Go do some exercise. Give your friends a call. Give them a voice chat. Go. Just do things that make you happy. Bring yourself back to yourself. a warm shower does wonders for you. By the way,
if you're in Ottawa,
especially in winter.
if you're in Ottawa, check out Lansdowne too. If you know,
Yeah, you
social
like to
distance
shoot
wise.
at Lansdowne. You have
I
a
know.
couple photos.
Yeah.
Boom,
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 boom, boom.
boom. Somewhere.
Lansdowne's nice. Like at the
cool.
end of the day, like obviously it's winter here at least, and if you're in Cali watching this, I mean, wish we were you. But
Hello.
essentially, like like even though it may be raining or snowing, find a nice place, whether it's somewhere indoors, if assuming you guys are still open, or if not, be in a car, drive around, take a shot, do something like meditate on it, like close your eyes.
Meditating is very powerful.
Be like, what's stopping me from doing it? Is it my head saying no, or is it me being lazy because I slept all day? And honestly,
turn this off.
Exactly.
When you go to sleep and rest, turn this shit off, man. Put it on freaking airplane mode and disconnect.
Look at it, throw it away.
It's quite an expensive device, and it's a necessary device, but
This has a little crack.
I have a huge crack. But Andrew won't get me a new phone because he doesn't like me enough. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like take that willingly take that step away from technology, even if it is your life. Just like break, be a human being, exist in this physical world, and then get back to it.
Enjoy the world, enjoy the sunsets. Like the one time we went on sunset, quick story. The day, when we went to the sunset, we met two pretty unique people,
Awesome
cool people. Awesome. They had basically things that they said about the sunset. And what that video, like, if you want to check it, it's down there. But
Yeah.
we didn't even know where I didn't even know where it was going to go.
You just got this camera, the A7S III.
Yeah.
That's our primary camera.
So we got it, and then I was like, I just want to try testing out different things, right? So we did a couple shots, and then the lady was like, hey, like I was shooting some BTS of you guys to Ramzi.
Yeah.
And then it went from there, and then it went to how do we go a step beyond and have them be in the video. And I said in my mind, I was like, you know what, like they were super nice and they were talking to us, like why don't we just capture what their thoughts are on it? And they had some really good inputs.
They had some beautiful things to say, and I was just like, wow. Like I don't want to quote, I can't quote it exactly, but check out Andrew's video. We'll put a little clip of it somewhere, but that's the thing. That's it. And then to kind of segue onto the creating with what you have, we did a shoot last week or before Christmas for a brand called Zapio. Zapio is caffeinated yerba mate tea. So it's the same amount of caffeine as coffee, but it's tea. So it's not quite as, I wouldn't say it's acidic, right? It's good for you. It has those antioxidants. It tastes
very good as well.
So Zapio was, the team at Zapio, they created this brand. They were bored as shit during COVID.
Yep.
And they made this amazing brand. Like it's just packaged so nicely.
From head to toe.
And it's delicious tea. So we were tasked with some product stuff, right? What do you do when you're shooting? We had a small space. We had a black backdrop. We had lights. We had cameras.
Everything.
And we had an open mind, right? We arrived on set. The set was a kitchen. It was a dining table.
Nice backdrop on the table too.
Not that much space. Enough space to do what we got to do. Move your couch out of the way and set something up. But we had 6 different flavors of tea. Yeah. Each one of those teas had a unique ingredient. We're like, okay, well, what's the only store that's open right now? Walmart. Go to Walmart. Okay, one of the teas has pineapple. We bought a pineapple. We bought an orange. We bought what was that other thing?
Mint.
Turmeric. Mint. Turmeric. And then we made a mess. Ezekiel, I'm so sorry for the mess in your living room.
But
but it looked really cool.
And even like recording it behind the scenes, I look back at it.
We gotta put that clip.
We're gonna
of the flying bag.
So listen, if you have, we're gonna post on Instagram Reels. It's gonna be on Instagram. It's gonna be on TikTok. If you follow any of our platforms, we're gonna boost the shit out of it because we want to make sure that, or we want to take the opportunity to, because we thought that this, like, we'll show it to you. You'll see how cool it is.
For the behind the scenes, right?
And then you'll see the final product soon.
Yeah, we should do a split screen so it's like BTS and then BTS actual shot. Kind of.
That's a perfect idea.
Yeah,
I remember you were talking
just about.
Yeah, you're like, that's the best way to do it. I mean, in my head, I'm like, that's the best way to go viral.
I love it. I love when you can see the camera team doing their thing behind the scenes, and then you have the final product, what it looks like. I think it's really cool. So we thought way outside the box on this. Andrew and I, we put all of our creative energy into it, along with the guys at Zapio. Shout out to you guys. You guys made a freaking awesome product. Check them out. They're local, and they'll ship the tea to your home, to your office, wherever you drink tea. Zappyo, right?
Yeah. PPYO. Yeah.
PPYO. So we got creative. We had some fun. All of it was done on a kitchen table using lights from Amazon.
Different papers.
You could even have shot it on our freaking cell phones. We were doing test shots on our phones because it took a lot of coordination. Like one of them, we had like the mint just like boom explode. We had a slice of orange just drop into the freaking.
The cool one was like the lemons like turning around.
The lemons!
The lemons just like spinning around.
Floating
like
lemons.
It was cool. It was interesting.
It was really cool. Like and fishing line goes a long way. By the way, you can use it to have things float and hide it quite well with a white background. So we'll get that.
And it was our first time doing it too. So hopefully, assuming that it's out, you guys get to check it out and let us know how you like it, right? Because first attempts always we learn things from it, and then we'll see where we go later on.
One thing, a friend of mine I met over the summer, his name's Paul Cook Photography. Amazing photographer, literally probably the best automotive photographer I've ever had the pleasure of meeting in person. He saw those shoots and he recommended to me this stuff. It's like ice, but it's like prop ice. So it looks like real ice, but it doesn't melt. He said Michael's or something. He sent me a link. So if we ever have a shoot and we need ice, thank you, Paul, for the recommendation.
If any local businesses sell ice,
it's fake ice. It's like made out of like plastic or something.
You could do a nice coffee shoot for that. Anyone
Iced
owns ice.
Coffee.
Just kidding. If anyone needs
ice?
Product placement, let us know. We want to test out different things.
Yeah, I like product shoots are fun because they force you to think outside the box. And
otherwise it's just gonna be boring with that's what happened. We had the set, we had the camera. We're like, it's boring. There's nothing to it. We need to make it unique. And luckily enough, we had
started
the
adding
props and all
and
that.
tweaking and bouncing ideas off each other and go to. I know for some reason you know the pandemic and COVID can't get you when you're in Walmart, which doesn't make sense to me. No. It'll get you when you're in a local business, but not when you're in Walmart.
It doesn't get people who don't wear masks, but it gets people who wear masks.
Anyway, that's a whole other. We're not gonna go there.
No.
But go to Walmart. Get
out.
creative, like use things for their not for their intended purpose, and you'll be surprised. There's a lot of things you could do.
Even like Dollarama too.
Dollarama's freaking solid.
Probably get nice paper at Dollarama for like $1.
Yeah,
the paper that we use, like
we
had a big black, like white, like black. We had a big black drop, like a backdrop.
That
one I think is probably like $20-$30, but the other paper cardboard that we used was like $1, right? So it wasn't too bad.
And I mean, if you have a bed sheet, like an old bed sheet, you can use that. You can. The beautiful thing about this type of work is there's no rules, right?
No rules.
You can do whatever you want. Anything goes. There's no one telling you, hey, you're not allowed to repurpose this for that. Like, no, just do it and do it. And even if it doesn't look the way you imagine, just do it and learn from it and improve it, right? Like that's one thing.
It's about taking the time too.
I love about this.
For us, we took like probably 8 hours.
It was 8 hours. We thought it was gonna be a 1 to 2 hour shoot. We're gonna go. We're gonna photograph a couple bags of tea, and then we're gonna be on with our day. And it took 8 hours. 8 hours.
But 8 hours of, I think, kind of like
it was worth it though.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
It's like perfect, like kind of like learning about it, and then as we learned about it, I say we kind of like not perfected it, but like made it kind of feel normal to us, right?
Exactly.
This is our like 5th time shooting it, so I do appreciate the time that we took into it. So it's more to come, hopefully. So
more to come. Lots to talk about. I know I mentioned a couple things that we're going to be discussing in future episodes. We're planning on having our first virtual guests or guest of some sort in the coming weeks. So please reach out if you'd like that to be you. I think we plan on doing it as same setup as we have going on right now, but then we would just have one of our cameras dedicated to that kind of. We'll probably use Zoom or Discord or something along those lines, so that you're virtually on the show with us here or wherever we're recording. And I think that would be very amazing to be able to chat with people from wherever you are. And if you need help setting things up at home, it can be as simple as like just use your phone and set it up and talk.
And if you guys are ever interested too, like we hopefully down the road would go into the route of live streaming too, some of the stuff that we speak about. And I think it'd be cool, like if any of you guys use Twitch or anything like that, just like swing us a comment or just send us a DM, because we definitely want to utilize that platform a lot, especially for these things. And I think it'd be cool to get on the live questions, not questions that these questions that people answer to are amazing, but imagine right on the spot, what is your go-to application for this, right? And you're like,
and that is our first question.
That is
segue. First question here is from Mathieu. Again, Mathieu, thank you so much for showing interest in the podcast. Mathieu asks, what is your go-to video/image editing softwares for your projects? I know you do too. Use the Adobe Creative Suite.
Yep.
So you can get a photography package for that, where you just have the photo softwares. You can get a full package. Pro tip: sign up as a student, even if you're not in university, and you'll get a huge discount.
Tip of the day.
Tip of the day. Don't tell Adobe, if you're listening, close your eyes and your ears. And I'm gonna say this. If you're unsure if you want to spend money on the software, pirate that shit. I said it. I said it. Shoot me. Honestly.
Don't sue us.
I'm using a hidden VPN to send you this message.
Well, you just said we're from Ottawa.
Shit. Ignore that, but don't ignore that. I take that back, but I don't.
Actually, you can utilize YouTube. No pirating. We're not gonna.
Anyway,
you can utilize YouTube as a platform.
However, you need to get that software. Adobe is what we use. The amazing thing about Adobe is you can get mobile versions of it for free, and then you can choose to subscribe if you want to unlock the full features. But I know you can get Adobe Lightroom for mobile and Adobe Premiere Rush for videos. Those are both mobile apps.
And you can do Photoshop mix and whatever. There's a bunch of small ones depending what you're looking to do.
They're pretty sick. So Mathieu, that's what we use. We use Adobe. I plan on kind of dipping my toes into DaVinci Resolve as time goes on. I'm a little bit intimidated by it because I'm so comfortable in Adobe and I just know
Just do it.
Just do it. I'm going to have to do it. But where do you find the time, man? Between making podcasts and...
No excuses. Go.
I know. No excuses. So next question comes from my friend named Hannah. Hannah is all the way in Germany. I met Hannah earlier this year when I was in Thailand. And thank you for showing interest, honestly. She asked us, do you have any cool photography ideas for the snow? Because we get a lot of snow here.
Yeah. Does it even snow in Germany?
A little bit. Yeah. It depends where you are. I mean, I think, but the amount of snow we get, it's snowing right now. It sucks. When you walk outside and you're just you're just getting pelted, or you're driving at night and it's like Star Wars light speed with all the snow flying at your car.
That in mind.
That's actually a cool idea. We'll try and capture that.
So if you go on Amazon, you can search up RGB handheld lights. I think it'd be a cool idea if you were to go out, not go in a stormtrooper costume, but go out with a nice coat, whether it's Canada Goose, I forgot the name, Canada Goose or anything like that. Have RGB lights in the back. I think that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah. One thing I think that's amazing with the snow is it's an amazing sound insulator.
Yeah.
And it makes shooting at night very much more possible because it reflects a bunch, so it's way brighter outside at night. But I love when it's just it's snowing a lot and it kind of it makes the sky look a bit
that's
hazy,
a homey feel to it too.
Yeah, I did this kind of series called Spaceman, where I was shooting in foggy environments, and Spaceman's coming back in the winter because I did Spaceman and I did Space Woman. And now we're going to be Spaceman V3, and Spaceman's going home this time. Spaceman's going back to space. I have an idea, and I think it's going to be... I kind of want to use the snow to make that, apocalyptic kind of wasteland vibe type of...
That'd be pretty cool.
So, I don't know. The snow, you get creative with it, right?
You can even, drift in the snow, too.
Pull the handbrake a little bit.
I only know from people who love cars.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a handbrake turn or two or three or four. Just don't hit anything because it'll cost you a lot of money.
Or just do it in a lot that no one knows.
Just don't hit anything.
Yeah. Usually I say probably during the snow times you can get a lot of the Christmas feels. If you're in Ottawa right now.
Yeah.
I had a Christmas video. You can check it out.
Ooh.
But it's actually, it's funny. It's fake snow. It's not even real snow. I don't even know if you noticed it. Look back at the video. It's fake. It's not real.
Yeah.
But let's say it was snowing. It would be kind of cool to capture that kind of Christmas vibe if you're doing a skit or anything like that.
And I find forests are very nice when it's winter time. We're honestly blessed in Ottawa to be surrounded by so much green, There's so many walking trails, and we have Gatineau Park and Conroy Pit and Mer Bleu Conservation Area. Like, it's amazing. So if you go to these spaces when it's like a fresh snowfall and everything's just sitting nicely on the trees, like you can do some cool stuff.
You know what we need down the road? We need to be in a forest. We need to have a fake rain, but like it's I mean, it's kind of real because it's water at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just have it sprinkle in the forest. That'd be pretty cool.
Fake rain?
Yeah. You know how they
we should record a podcast in the forest.
Like in the film movie industries, because you know how you want to reenact like a rain scene, and obviously you can't do it.
Right.
Something fake like that would be pretty cool.
And expensive.
If you want us to film in a forest, let us know. Not in the winter.
We should in the summertime. We're filming a podcast in the forest.
We'll do that.
Oh, we're taking this shit mobile, man. We're going like we're gonna film one in a Tesla once they sponsor us.
And then and maybe in an airplane too.
Yeah.
It may be loud though, but sorry.
Yeah, but we'll get on to our last question before wrapping it up for this episode. This question is asking us, as media producers, my understanding is that you often want to capture content sporadically, randomly, on an ad hoc basis. What are 3 things you never leave home without?
Camera and the lens. I count that as one.
I count that as one.
You count it as one. Oh, he said count as one.
Yeah,
I took his phrase.
You count that as 2?
I count it as one too.
Okay.
Probably an RGB light. I think that would be pretty cool. Like depending where you're going, like if it's especially late at night, as what we were speaking about, get that kind of Star Wars vibe. RGB light's pretty key, and microphone too. You never know when you need to be mic'd up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Camera, drone, because
which drone do you use again?
I have a Mavic Mini and I have a Mavic Air 2. The Mini is so small you can fit it in your sweater pocket.
Yeah.
The Mavic Air 2 is slightly larger, and it does require a license to fly it, and it has slightly more restrictions imposed on it, but each one has its place. But drone, because it's one of those, and then so camera, drone, and microphone. 3 things I never leave without. They're always on me, on my camera bag or whatever. It's always the times where you're like, if you ask, do I need to bring it? And you don't, you're going to need it, right? Yeah. You're like, maybe, do I need my drone? No, I'm going to leave it at home. You go out, you do your thing. Fuck, I wish I had my drone.
Even like same thing with batteries. Like sometimes like I would just be like, do I actually need to charge my second like battery?
Always.
I'm like, screw it, never know. And next thing you know, you need it. And batteries essential for everything, right? So
good habit. Whenever you're done a shoot, go home, office, wherever you stuff, dump your memory cards, back them up, charge all your batteries, put them away, then rest. You'll thank yourself always the next day, whenever you grab your bag.
Another quick tip of the day: if you want to continue to create every single day while you're lazy, charge them up every day. Because if you don't, and someone's like, "Hey, you want to shoot?" You're like, "Oh, my stuff's not charged." Now you got another excuse.
Yeah.
So keep them charged. Even like after today, I'm gonna charge them up because you never know. Tomorrow, we're gonna shoot another podcast, or I thought we will. Happy New Year's Eve. But essentially, if we shoot something else, then at least we have it on the go, ready for the next day.
Exactly. And like what I do is like I usually I'll get home, I'll start emptying the memory cards, and because that does take a while, that's when I'll start charging, and then I'll go back and then forth. But anyway, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
For our last episode of 2020, even though you're listening to this in 2021.
It's all right.
How is it over there? Let us know.
Oh man.
Yeah. Honestly, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Honestly.
We hope you guys had a amazing New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's going to be an amazing year.
It is. It's going to be a lot of cool things happening, hopefully. And again, hopefully we get to continue with the next one would be virtual podcast wise.
Yeah.
If you have any recommendations, or if you have any people that you know that you would love to see featured on here, wish we could get Peter McKinnon, but we can't.
One day. Peter McKinnon is coming on here. Amen.
But if you have any recommendations for people, just send them our way. Again, we love connecting with people around the world.
And if you are that person, also
send us a DM. Don't be shy.
Yeah, we'll answer. I promise. I promise. We will answer. Even if you want to just like ask, like, how do you make boiled rice? Like, I will answer you.
I don't even know how to make rice, and I'm Asian.
What?
No, I'm kidding. I do know how to make rice.
I'll teach you. It's super easy. My mom taught me. Thanks, mom. But that is it for today. This is takeONE. You could find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube,
TikTok,
Instagram, and if you want to send us things, you can send them by email. takeonepodcast@gmail.com. Podcast is with a K because someone took the other one.
And if you took it, give it to us.
I'm gonna put it here. I'll give you $5 for it.
Yeah.
But that wraps it up. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Wish you the absolute best in the new year.
I can't point for no reason.
I'm Ramzi.
And I'm Andrew.
We'll see you next time.
Happy New Year.
Peace.
Do I get a Happy New Year kiss?
Fuck you. Wait.
Yo, what are you gonna do?